I'm Ken Garman. I'm a Microsoft Teams architect at New Wave Communications. I would much rather be architecting some cool new technical solution or writing a PowerShell script than attempting to do some public speaking. However, as I've been talking to customers and Microsoft partners in the Teams space, I became aware that there's a lot of misconceptions out there about what Operator Connect is and what its capabilities are. So I felt compelled to come out here and show a little bit about what Operator Connect is, especially having spent a good part of the last year onboarding a global carrier into the Operator Connect program, New Wave Communications. And before we get started, I want to say a big thank you to the organizers for putting together this event. They were all able to come out and see everyone in person again. And also a big thank you to the sponsors for sponsoring the event and making the whole event possible. In this session, I'm going to give a high-level overview of all the PSTN options available in Microsoft Teams, including calling plans, direct routing as a service, and then I'm really going to dive into the details around Operator Connect. So calling plans, this is Microsoft's direct PSTN option, their own phone service offering for Teams. Allows you to get everything, all your Microsoft 365 services, as well as your phone services, all from a single provider on a single bill. It's the least complex solution. Doesn't require any SBCs or any of your own infrastructure. It's super easy to set up. It's great for a quick proof of concept to try out the Teams phone system capabilities. It is available in 33 regions. However, calling plans do require the most licensing from Microsoft since you need to get the calling plan license. So especially for large organizations, it can be one of the least cost-effective options. And calling plans also do have the most limited capabilities when it comes to integrating with third-party solutions like contact centers or SMS providers or other similar common add-ons for Teams voice deployments. Another option is direct routing. I'm going to call this the self-hosted direct routing option. It's where an organization purchases and deploys all their own SBCs and PSTN infrastructure for their Teams voice deployment. Direct routing provides a way for you to bring your own carrier to Teams. This is especially useful if you have an existing long-term contract with your existing carrier, or if you have your own PSTN infrastructure, your own SBCs that you're using for your existing voice deployment that just happen to be Teams certified and you want to reuse for your voice deployment. By managing your own voice infrastructure and your own SBCs, you get a lot of flexibility and customizability in your deployment. Some examples of this flexibility include options like integrating into your existing phone system, either for a long-term coexistence or temporarily to provide a seamless migration to Teams. And with direct routing, you get some unique capabilities like local media optimization, like the previous session just talked about, and survivable branch appliances for an additional level of redundancy. And direct routing is available globally since it is just a feature of Teams. So here's an architectural overview of a pretty standard direct routing deployment. Let me get this thing to work. Down here we have the Teams certified SBC on the organization's premises. We have the PSTN connectivity coming into it. This could be a PRI or SIP trunk or any other means of getting PSTN service. So a standard call coming in, a PSTN call coming in would come in through your Teams certified SBC, back out over the internet, and then to the Microsoft Teams cloud services, and then over the internet again to your remote users or maybe back to your organization's users within your organization's premises. In this example, we also have a PBX integrated on-prem. We also have an ATA for analog devices like fax machines or paging devices, things like that. And here we also have a contact center, hosted contact center. This could also be a locally hosted contact center integrated into this solution. So as you can see, direct routing is extremely flexible and provides a lot of options. So what are some reasons you would maybe not choose direct routing? So the first is the upfront cost. It's a large capital investment to acquire everything and deploy it. Also a lot of complexity to understand how to deploy that and also support and maintain that your own infrastructure yourself long term. And then also the time for that deployment. So the time to deploy the solution is usually the longest one as well. So you need to acquire in hardware, configure it, connect it to Teams, configure your Teams cloud service. It takes most organizations a few months since it's a fairly major project. Another challenge with your own direct routing is number management. Teams has no native number management for direct routing. All the assignment and unassignment is done in PowerShell, unless you're using some type of third-party tool to manage that and do the assignments. This makes it pretty difficult usually to hand this, these basic moves, adds, and changes off to, say, a help desk team or whoever would normally handle simple changes like assigning and unassigning phone numbers. This brings us to direct routing as a service. Direct routing as a service moves all your SBCs and required infrastructure into the direct routing as a service provider's cloud, eliminating the need for you to purchase and deploy your own infrastructure while still keeping most, if not all, of the capabilities of hosting your own direct routing. Because of these benefits, it's been an extremely compelling option for many organizations to move to direct routing as a service, especially as many organizations are moving to a partially or fully remote workforce. And there's still a few challenges we see with direct routing as a service. The first is the customer enablement process. Every direct routing as a service provider handles this differently. Some will provide the information and give you a guide, and here you go, good luck, deploy it yourself. Others will do that work for you, either by requesting access to your tenant, or maybe doing a screen share to walk you through the deployment process. Then others have a fully, like us at Newway, we have a fully automated customer enablement process that deploys that automatically into your tenant. Another challenge, once again, is number management. It's all the same technology as direct routing, so once again, no native number management. This is up to the operator or direct routing as a service provider to offer a solution to manage the numbers. So here's an overview of direct routing as a service. As you can see, it's very similar to direct routing. We just moved this team-certified SBC that was within the organization's premises up into the service provider's cloud, eliminating the need to maintain that. But what you can see here is we still have all the same capabilities. We can still integrate back into the existing PBX to make that migration more seamless. We can still offer ATAs off of the direct routing as a service provider's cloud for your analog devices, or tie into third-party services like contact centers, or even add additional add-ons such as analytics or reporting or SMS, things like that as additional value adds to the direct routing as a service solution. So that brings us to what you all came to this session for, Operator Connect. Operator Connect is the culmination of everything that Microsoft learned through offering calling plans and direct routing, and also everything that us as direct routing as a service providers have learned offering direct routing as a service for the last few years, all brought together into a complete package that delivers a fully cloud-based voice solution for your Teams environment that's high quality and also has all the advanced capabilities that most of the other solutions have. So the goal of Operator Connect is really to simplify the entire process of getting phone service from an operator or a carrier other than Microsoft into your Teams environment. The first thing to simplify is the customer enablement process. This is achieved by eliminating all the tenant-side configuration. So with Operator Connect, it's as simple as just selecting your operator in the tenant and accepting a consent. And there's no gateways to be built or any routing in your tenant. This makes it really fast to get up and running as well. Then there's also the number management simplified because that's moved into your Teams admin center. It's very similar to manage numbers, and with Operator Connect, as it's very similar user capabilities in the Teams admin center as calling plans. Oops. Dropped my mic wire. Where was I? Operator Connect is a fully cloud-based solution. And there's also the unique capability of Operator Connect is the support structure between the operator and Microsoft. So with Operator Connect, there's a support structure where Microsoft can escalate tickets to the operator, and the operator can also escalate the tickets back to Microsoft, provide a very seamless support experience. There's also a requirement that every operator is directly peered to Microsoft using Microsoft Azure peering services. And it's not a single peering either. It does require multiple peerings that are geo-redundant, have QoS, a few other capabilities on them. And Operator Connect is currently available in about 60 regions through multiple Microsoft Operator Connect partners. And you can have multiple partners or Operator Connect partners in your same tenant, and all the numbers are managed in the Teams admin center in a single pane of glass. And Operator Connect can also coexist with your direct routing solution or your calling plan solution as well in the same tenant. So how do we get started? You go to your Teams admin center. You will see on the left side, you'll see Voice and then Operator Connect. Under Operator Connect, you'll see the list of operators. And up top, there is a drop-down with the list of countries. When you select countries here, it filters out the list to the carriers that have services in those countries. And there's also a features drop-down. Currently, there's just calling in there. Eventually, there'll also be conferencing and potentially other solutions. So once you select your operator, it takes you to this screen. On this screen, there's the list of countries the operator offers. When you select countries here, this essentially just opens up the API for us as the operator to push numbers for that specific country. So for example, if you select Canada and do not select Austria, we can push Canadian numbers into your tenant, but not Austria numbers into your tenant. Then down below is the contact information. When you fill out this contact information, make sure it's correct. If you put inaccurate information in here, the operator has no way of contacting you, and probably nothing will happen. So once you submit this form with your contact information and the regions you want service in, this goes to the operator. Our process is a salesperson reaches out and figures out what your needs are. Either offers you, we have a 60-day free trial to try it out, so go ahead, try out Operator Connect afterwards. Or if you're moving straight to production, you could port your numbers or order numbers. So once you get your numbers from the operator, whatever means you need to get those, the numbers show up here in your Teams admin center under phone numbers. And from here, you can assign them directly to your users and your call flows, auto tenants call queues. And you're up and running. It's that simple. No PowerShell, no advanced routing in your tenant. So since you're all curious, here's the architectural overview, high-level architectural overview of Operator Connect. At first glance, it looks the same as direct routing as a service. There's one key difference here, and that's this peering between Microsoft and Microsoft's cloud services and the operator, like I mentioned before. But what I really want to point out, this is where a lot of misconceptions come out around Operator Connect. A lot of people say, oh, it's just calling plans from someone other than Microsoft. But we can still integrate into other solutions. We still can offer SIP trunks off of our network to integrate into your existing voice solution to make that a more seamless migration. We can still give you ATAs for your analog devices, and we can still offer you add-ons and connect into third-party solutions like contact centers. Migrating to Operator Connect. So if you're moving to Operator Connect from basically a non-Teams voice solution, an existing on-prem PBX, or say another voice, cloud-based voice service, we can make this a really smooth transition. Basically, you submit your port order with the operator. Once you get an FOC or firm order commitment, which is a specific date and time of the port, the operator can then upload those numbers into your tenant, where you can pre-assign them to all your users and call flows, so at the time of port, everything just lights up and starts working. If you're coming from direct routing, there will be a little bit of downtime at the time of port. So you're going to want to kind of schedule that port as, into a spot that works for a little bit of downtime. So at the time of port, you need to unassign your direct routing numbers, remove your voice routing policies. Do not forget your emergency voice routing policies. You don't want to be sending your emergency calls, say, back to your decommissioned SBC or to your previous direct routing as a service provider's cloud So make sure you remove both the voice routing policy and emergency voice routing policy. At this point, have the operator upload the numbers to the tenant, or if the operator has a portal, you might be able to do that yourself, and reassign them to your users. So as you can see, a little bit of downtime from when you start unassigning your numbers, removing the routing, uploading the numbers, and reassigning them. Coming from calling plans, it's a similar process again. Start your port. There's going to be downtime at the time of port. At the time of port, remove your numbers from your users and call flows. Remove your calling plan licenses. These can take some time to decommission. And then you're going to have to wait until that port completes. Once the port completes, Microsoft removes the numbers from your team's admin center. Only then can the operator re-upload them so there's not duplicates in your tenant, and then you can go ahead and reassign them to your users. Emergency services, Gary.
Why do you have to wait until the numbers port to start the configuration?
Yeah, so for the calling plans, because Microsoft has the numbers in your team's admin center, you have to wait until they port, and then once they port, they're removed. Microsoft removes them from your team's admin center, and then you can re-upload them because it doesn't let you have duplicates in the tenant.
And that's the same with Microsoft calling plans or another direct routing provider?
Not something I tested with another Operator Connect provider.
Okay.
I would assume not. I would assume you can't have duplicates, but it'd be something to look into.
But not so much another Operator Connect provider, because you said those mix and match. But if those numbers exist in your tenant, be it from Microsoft calling plans, Legacy, Skype for Business, or another direct routing provider that you're porting them away from, you have to wait for the port to occur before you start the reconfiguration. Is that correct?
Well, if you're coming from a direct routing solution, you could unassign them and then reassign them right away ahead of time, versus if you're coming from, say, well, with Operator Connect, they could remove them from your tenant ahead of time as well. But with calling plans, they don't remove them from your tenant until it ports. So, I'm sorry, what was that?
Microsoft doesn't purge the numbers immediately when the port happens. So what happens is Microsoft still thinks they own the number, and on an inbound call, Microsoft does not route the number.
Yeah, most likely going from calling plans is going to be the slowest migration just because of the decommissioning on Microsoft's side.
24 to 72 hours.
Yeah, that could be painful. So emergency services and emergency locations with Operator Connect. There's 3 different options when we upload numbers into the tenant. The first option is uploading the numbers to the tenant with an emergency address attached, and then allowing the team's admin to update that. The second option is uploading it without an address and allowing the team's admin to update that. Really the operator's preference, whether they pre-attach an address. These addresses do need to pre-exist in the tenant. We're just selecting an existing address in the tenant when we upload. And then allowing the team's admin to change it. We have no insight into those addresses being changed in the tenant. So this is only supported in locations where dynamic emergency calling is supported and offered by the operator, because we only see those, the changed address at the time of call when it gets sent out in the call header. So then the last option is uploading the numbers, attaching it to an existing address in the tenant at the time of upload, and not allowing the team's admin to change it. This is what you're most likely going to be see being used in the rest of the world where dynamic emergency calling isn't supported. So a little overview of comparison between the options here. One thing I really want to point out on here is program type. So direct routing is not a program, it's a feature. Anybody can use direct routing. Anyone can grab an SBC, connect up a SIP trunk or a PSTN service, connect to Microsoft, and have a voice solution. Not saying it's a good solution, but it's a solution, right? It might be a good solution. Versus Operator Connect is a gated program, meaning that Microsoft has a list of requirements to be a certified operator in the Operator Connect program. Like I mentioned before, the direct peerings to Microsoft, there's APIs that are opened up, there's redundancy and resiliency requirements, there's QoS requirements. So there's a huge list of requirements there. So when you're choosing Operator Connect provider, you know that they've been very well vetted by Microsoft, and you know it's going to be a good, high-quality solution. Oops. So I did put some red stars beside some of these. I don't know what every Operator Connect provider is offering. Might be doing a little different things. So dynamic emergency calling, that just depends on your direct routing deployment, how you build that out. Operator Connect, we include it. I don't know if others do. In the regions it's supported, we include it. The direct peering via maps, required with Operator Connect, optional with direct routing. Carrier level call forwarding is something that is a nice benefit of having your own carrier. Most carriers let you carrier level call forwarding. And we allow you to do it with Operator Connect. Not an option with calling plans. This is a big one, big downfall of calling plans. If there's an outage, you can't bypass Microsoft. Disaster plans, this is like something we offer, which is a pre-configured call forward. So in case of an outage, you can enable the disaster plan and all your call forwards are pre-configured. Number management, direct routing is PowerShell or a third-party tool versus Operator Connect and calling plans are in the Teams admin center. Converting between a number between a user and a service number, you'd open up a ticket with Microsoft. We have a portal, you can do it in yourself. I don't know how the other Operator Connect partners are doing it. They may have a ticket or portal, either way. Not applicable in direct routing. Big benefit of Operator Connect, again, is managing multiple operators' numbers all in one pane of glass. CDR and QoS, something I failed to mention earlier. So the numbers that the operators provide into your tenant for Operator Connect, the operator can see all the CDRs and QoS data from the tenant side. So this is extremely valuable because we can see the actual experience of your end users. We can see that QoS the whole way through, not just our network, but also through Microsoft's network, the whole way out to your end user's client. So if your end user has a bad internet connection and is having poor call quality, us as the operator can see that. We can build reporting and analytics on that and be able to see actually end-to-end call quality the whole way through our network, through Microsoft, the whole way to the end client. Have a real overview of the whole way through that call. Once again, pre-established support structures with Operator Connect that don't exist with any of the other models, and SLAs between Microsoft and the operator. Pricing models really vary. With calling plans, it's only a per user pricing model versus with direct routing and Operator Connect, there's a lot of flexibility. There might be per call path pricing models. Give you a lot more options there when purchasing your voice services. And for those of you that are Microsoft partners and implementers, highly recommend reaching out to your Operator Connect provider or an Operator Connect provider. We can offer reseller programs, so it's a great additional value add to add to your offering to your customers, to be able to provide voice services through Operator Connect to your customers. Little overview. So for customers, benefits of choosing Operator Connect, it's simple and easy to deploy, has most of all the advanced capabilities that are available in direct routing, has defined support models and SLAs, so you know you're getting a high quality experience from the operator. And for the system integrators, it's much quicker to deploy. This is a good thing because most of you are overworked and have more work than you can handle, so this will help you speed up the process and be able to bring on more customers. Support from the operator. This is a big one when you're choosing to work with an operator. Make sure you look into the support structures and what they're willing to do for you and your customers to make sure you can offer a high quality experience to your customer. And also recurring revenue through the Operator Connect reseller programs. Please fill out the evaluations in the mobile app. Check out the other community events, the local user groups, and any other questions. Hold on here. Get this thing out here. There you go. That's the
Gotcha.
mic.
All right. Hello? Oh, this is on. All right, it's live. All right, this is kind of freaking me out a little bit. What are the SLAs you're going to provide?
So
What do you have to adhere to? Let me rephrase the question. What do you have to adhere to, and are different Operator Connect partners going to have different SLAs?
yeah, so Microsoft has a standard SLA requirement to the operator. I don't remember the number of nines on it off the top of my head, but they do have that. And I would assume all the operators are going to offer basically the same SLA that Microsoft requires for the operators. I'd have to look over them again. Might be able to get them for you afterwards.
Okay.
When it comes to end users dialing international numbers, I've had some experiences with direct routing as a service where they don't want the 011 in front that we have been trained to dial for international calling out of the United States forever. So with Operator Connect, we don't have real ways to strip that out with trunk translation rules. So if we send a 011 in front of the country code, is Operator Connect going to let it through?
That's a great question. I would assume that's going to vary based on the operator. I would think most would.
It also may vary by your dial plans as well.
Well,
Your dial plan permits that, or if you're translating differently.
The dial plan would have to let it through.
Correct.
Yeah, but
It would
that's,
just be up to the carrier, the operator then at that point to determine if they want to route that way or not.
right. So can you change the manipulation rules on the Operator Connect SBC side?
Depends if the operator is willing to do that for you.
Okay. I do, but other direct routing as a service providers don't want you to, and we have to strip it out. I won't say which ones.
I don't know if I had a question for you, sorry.
Anybody else?
Any other questions?
You're gonna throw a box at it.
All right, that's all I had. Thank you again for coming out.